Cool. Boys, we are here.
No, that's
The
not.
time has arrived, and we can officially, semi-officially, shout SEC, SEC,
SEC, SEC. We can finally chant that, man.
Welcome to the SEC.
Not officially, July 1 next year, but
The schedules have dropped.
boy, does it feel like it's officially official. As of about 4 hours ago, the 2024 football opponents have been announced. Before we even talk about it, what a job by the SEC being able to drop this bomb on everybody a year and a half in advance.
Yeah, no kidding.
No
kidding.
Because man, oh man, am I itching literally for football, college football once again, even though we have a year and a half away from.
We've got 74 days until college football comes back. At the current moment, there is currently nothing going on except for Major League Baseball, which we have nothing against, but there's nothing going on.
I'll be honest, I haven't started, you know how when you can feel the season approaching, like college football season,
Mhm.
and you start watching YouTube videos, you're taking in all of the podcasts that you can, and you're watching highlights and different crap from. I know last year
watching older games.
I know last year in July I was watching OU Texas games religiously.
Well, I was trying to. I know at some point every year, I always try to watch the top 50 or top 25 games from the past season, and I started to try do that last week at some point, and there just comes a time whenever you've just been away from football for so long that you just have to watch it in some form, and that's
absolutely. I can comfortably say I'm not quite there yet, but we get much closer to 4th of July, and I know I'm going to start.
Last night I started watching, not college, but NFL. I was watching Bucks Packs in the 2021 NFC Championship game. And I was watching Bucks Chiefs in that Super Bowl just for fun.
Yeah, I mean football's fun. It's fun.
It is fun.
Fun to watch. Maybe not as fun.
But let's go through the.
But as fun as it is
that an actual schedule?
Now we get to talk through. The opponents that were announced. Now, do you guys want to start with our teams, the two newbies, or do you want to start with the conference schedule as a whole?
Let's start with our teams.
Okay. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
You'll go first. All right. The university.
Well, James, I actually I have the schedule.
That's from a day ago.
Oh, that is from a day ago. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let's see.
From the University
Colorado State. We got Colorado State first, then we go to the Big House. Then we got UTSA. Then we go to Arkansas, which is where it all begins. That's where the fun begins. And I was telling Chris, I feel really good about that game.
Hold on. Wait. What are you talking about?
What?
What are you talking about going to Arkansas?
They have to come to Fayetteville in 2024.
You're right, but they haven't announced the actual date yet.
I've seen it where they have them listed, like the order. To my
they
knowledge.
just listed that to list it. We don't know the dates yet.
Okay.
We know the non-conference dates.
The tentative
That's it.
one that I found, okay, has us then going to Arkansas, right? Okay, which I feel good about because Arkansas will have a new quarterback and
New running
probably
game.
probably a new head coach,
New running game.
a new running game.
You think Sam Pittman's going to be fired after this year?
I'll let him add.
I think it's.
Please explain.
I don't think he's going to be fired. I mean, it has to be drastic, but I think for me, I feel like the honeymoon stage just kind of ended. But he's got he does have a new receiving core, and he's got a whole new coaching staff. But like, I think if it shows like if it was the same as it was last year, where he struggled in key games, and it shows that he's not capable of coaching in certain circumstances, I think there's a chance that he could be out. But
hence why I said
I don't think that
yeah.
a 500 record or even a game above 500 would be something that would fire him. But I don't see I think there's a chance that he still could be fired.
Hence why I say that. So
Fair enough.
yeah, we'll see what happens. Then, according to this, hosting Vandy, which we know how that's going to go. Then Red River. I don't need to say anything.
Hold on. What a load of bullshit
What?
would it be for? Wait, did you say hosting Vandy?
Yeah.
All right, we know the schedule's bullshit because we already know we're playing. You guys are playing at Vandy next
Oh
year.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's at Vandy. Hold on, I'm going to this one. Yeah.
Okay,
at
so
Vandy.
the whole schedule's foobar. Just focus on the opponents.
Okay, yeah, we'll focus on the opponents.
But needless to say, what kind of bullshit would it be for them to schedule Vandy right before OU Texas?
I don't know.
What a load of crap that would be.
Why? Why would that be crap?
Why do you get a get right game? What is
I
that?
know. I mean, we don't need a get right game before we play you. Look what happened last year.
I mean, I don't know.
That's my
We'll
case.
see.
Moving on.
Carry on.
Carrying on here. Then let's see. To be fair, when Red River comes, we all joking aside, we never know how that's going to go.
Let's talk about because we can skip non-conference. That is what it is. Michigan will be a lot of fun.
That'll
That's
be
for
great.
sure.
I'll
And
be
let's
looking
skip OU
forward to
Texas because we've talked about that ad nauseum. Let's focus on the SEC opponents.
that. Sure.
What do you think about your draw of the SEC opponents?
I like it. I'm actually excited to host the Gators. I'm excited to host Georgia. Arch Manning versus whatever his name is. The highly recruited and number one quarterback going into this draft class. Or I'm sorry, the next one. Recruiting class. Thank you. Did I say draft class?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, for Georgia. Then hosting Kentucky, which didn't know they played football. And then outside of
Mark Stoops has that program rolling.
Who?
Don't ever talk down on Mark Stoops.
Who? I'll keep going. Then,
Don't act like you don't know who Mark Stoops is.
do you know who Mark Stoops is?
I've heard the name.
Oh, must be a nobody, probably from Oklahoma. Anyway, moving on.
People are freaking useless.
Then we're hosting a team that very, very tragically lost their captain. So that'll be sentimental. And then Vandy, the tune-up game, and then we already talked about Arkansas. Then the last game of the year. I am so looking
Only
forward
one
to
for so
playing
long.
them. I am so looking forward to playing them. Those blokes can no longer hide, and I'm trying to be as PG as possible for the show. So no, I am really looking forward to playing A&M. That could bite me in the ass for saying that, but they've avoided playing UT for how long? And now it's
2012.
here.
So a
And
little
now
over a decade.
Yeah, a little over a decade. Now it's here. So
2011.
I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. I'm surprised Alabama's not in there.
I'm not, and we kind of talked about that last week.
Okay.
It really felt like before the schedules even dropped, that OU was going to get one of Alabama and Georgia, and Texas was going to get the other.
Oh.
And I had a really large inkling that since you guys are playing Alabama this year,
they play them 2 years in a row, so
we were going to get them next year. So I think it was really, really I think that was almost expected, you guys getting Georgia and we getting Alabama. What I found really interesting about these schedules, as I'll pull ours up, is basically they gave us, outside of a couple games, they gave us the SEC West and they gave you the SEC East, essentially.
Yeah.
Outside of a couple games, which, to be fair, I think the SEC West is the way better division, even though they don't exist anymore. I'm actually kind of excited about ours.
Well, James, historically speaking, the East is better.
In what way?
I think. I mean, you got Tennessee over there. There's Georgia. Florida's had a couple good runs.
But outside of those,
three,
outside of that, I mean, you're going to tell me you're going to make the argument for South Carolina, Kentucky, Vandy, and Mizzou.
But on the flip side, who has primarily carried the West?
I mean, Alabama, Auburn, and LSU have both won a fair share of time.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, even I just thought from the higher end, but I mean that's not even a good argument. Never mind.
I think for the large part, I got most of my predictions correct. I anticipated Bama. I anticipated Tennessee, since OU and Tennessee have that kind of history there. I was really excited to see we got South Carolina, not because there's any like historical tie-ins there. Just I think the Shane Beamer storyline is a lot of fun. I mean, I think the Josh Heupel storyline with Tennessee doubles down on it. LSU is a lot of fun, not only because I've got the family ties on it, but I want to go to Baton Rouge and watch a game again. Like, that's a lot of fun.
Yep.
I'll go with you.
Honestly, like I said that SEC would split the Mississippi schools. I would have preferred state, but going to the Grove is also a lot of fun. And then I said we would split Mizzou and Arkansas with Texas. They did that also, and we got Mizzou. I would like to see an Arkansas, since we've watched Texas and Arkansas play sooner, but I'm not going to be picky about it. And I mean, the one that genuinely caught me off guard was the Auburn pick, because they gave Texas, Florida, and Georgia, and then they gave Oklahoma, Bama, and Auburn.
Mm-hmm. So
I think the one things I would have swapped is I would have given Oklahoma, Florida, and I would have given Auburn to Texas.
You get
Other
the
than that, I really like how
Tigers
it's
three times, James.
What?
You get the Tigers 3 times.
Yeah. What the hell?
I
The hell is that?
just noticed that. I was like, wait a minute. They get the Tigers 3 times.
Tigers, and
Like,
more freaking
I will
Tigers.
go with you to Baton Rouge, but just know I will be singing neck in your face and down your throat.
I mean, if you say so.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have the best true
And
sophomore
that
quarterback in the
as
country.
possible.
Yeah, that's it. Happy Pride Month, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm just glad you missed what I said.
I didn't hear what he said. What did he say?
I said we'll be going into Baton Rouge with the best true sophomore quarterback in the country.
Oh, bullshit.
I'll have y'all's argument in a little bit.
The best sophomore court. No.
I can have y'all's argument in a little bit.
He's still on those gummies he got from Colorado.
I mean, I don't need those gummies. I'll stick to it. The one thing that is really interesting to see what's going to happen is we know who Texas's all of the non-conference games are going to be. OU's still missing 2.
Yeah.
So we know we've got Temple and Tulane in there, but we have no freaking idea who else is
Step
going
up.
to be joining.
You know,
Uh,
I have an assumption on that actually. Funny you
What's
mentioned it. I think Oak State could be one.
Isn't Oklahoma State like severing ties?
Are they? I
What?
thought they wanted to continue to play.
Oklahoma State's doing the Aggie thing, being difficult. I was reading an article today that said because of previous scheduling contracts and non-conference games, it doesn't sound like they're going to be able to play it next year or in next couple of years. But the plan is to at some point to reignite that rivalry. It just we've got to get the time right with non-conference schedules and other contracts. The one thing that's going to be interesting is we have to schedule a Power 5 opponent because we've got Temple and Tulane. I mean, those should be 2 layups.
Yeah.
So, and I know there's not too many Power 5 schools that have open schedules next year. So our pickings will be slim. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That being said, it could set up nicely for us.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at? Oh, let's see. Get that out of here. Do you look at Sooners Wire?
Not particularly.
But do you know of them?
Yes.
Yeah, when was this?
10 days ago.
Okay, well, it's 10 days ago, whatever. There's an interesting article on here about what the non-conference opponents could be.
What are they saying?
Oh, they're saying Tulane again.
Tulane and
Then Houston, potentially. And it's
that has been one of the names I've seen thrown out there. I've also seen TCU out there.
This one has Arkansas,
but
that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make any
This is a
sense.
potential schedule for them.
Sounds
So
like
you're saying Houston and Tulane.
Tulane's already on there. So we've got Houston and one more.
Who did I say? Houston and hold on.
Tulane and Temple.
Screw it. Let's just put both TCU and Houston on there. We'll pick apart the Big 12 again.
Dude, home and home with SMU.
Yeah, I mean that could work.
That's another thing that could work.
Does SMU have an open slot next year?
Let me see. That's a great question.
Yeah,
By the way, even
probably
though we probably know how the game's going to go, how about my Mustangs stepping up to the plate to play you? They did.
True. I mean, we're also paying them a bunch of money, but
Wouldn't it be funny for them
that's besides the point.
to pay us just for pressed in stone to go whip ass on them?
Unfortunately for TCU, your schedule's already full next year.
You mean SMU?
You have
How about
HCU.
SMU?
So you have Holy Cross coming into
Yeah, holy crap. Oh, we're going
Gerald
to
Ford. You
Vandy.
got at Vandy. TCU.
1, 2,
At Charlotte 40.
5, 6, 7. If y'all don't,
Well, actually, so hear me out. The return trip is actually already scheduled.
2, 3,
When is it?
5, 6.
2027.
We got to wait that long?
Yes.
Man,
y'all
Preston's
win-
still going to be
If y'all
gone.
win 10 games in
Dude,
2024,
I'm looking at
I'm
this
throwing
schedule
stuff at you.
going. What? Like, this is the schedule? Like,
I
holy
want that schedule so badly. That's all.
bro! I want to go to Nashville. I want to see SMU get an SEC win against who?
An SEC school.
Vanderbilt.
An SEC,
Hey man. Don't knock on Vandy.
They're an SEC school.
And then
With any luck, Vandy will beat Texas in their first year in the SEC.
The only game that's like kind of on the
bro,
borderline of being a loss is TCU.
yeah. I mean,
And then like I know Tulane had a good season, but like they're probably not going to be that good this year.
what is this schedule?
That's if
What a
you,
joke.
y'all should go under. Y'all,
We're not that bad.
if
You
y'all
you get a little bit of shock looking at an SEC schedule going to an American Conference.
go- if
You
y'all,
know,
if y'all don't win at least 10 games, you should discontinue your football program.
It's this schedule exactly why I am all for SMU joining the Pac-12, which has been rumored.
The Pac-12.
Yes, because they blew their chance with the Big 12, and now with all the bullshit that's going on at the Pac-12 has and SMU have been in conversation about making the leap over
Right.
to the Pac-12, which
Them-
makes no sense.
Boise State should join.
But whatever. SMU and Caleb Williams.
San Diego State.
Whatever.
Ouch.
Okay. Now that we've done that, let's take a look at the SEC opponents as a whole.
Wait, but we didn't talk about Arkansas.
You just skip by me.
Why do you think I pulled this up? We can look at the Arkansas schedule.
Fine.
So hold on, James. Now that we're looking at Arkansas schedule, let's see. Loss, mega loss. I'm kidding, bro.
So Arkansas gets LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Texas at home. You will travel to Missouri, Auburn, Aggieland in Arlington, and State. How do you feel about it?
I do like about that schedule is no Alabama. I mean, this is.
How do you feel about having no Alabama on your schedule?
Honestly,
Do you feel better?
It feels a little bit better, to be honest.
Does it feel better?
I'm always looking at that game going, well, that's a loss.
You know what's really crazy about
the thing with Alabama is that you have to play them at the beginning of the year to get a chance at beating them, and most of the time because we're in the same conference as them and the same division.
you know what the rumor?
The last time Arkansas beat Alabama in football was 06.
You know the rumors I've heard today. What they are? The rumors is that for next year, you know what the conference opener is going to be?
What?
Bama at Oklahoma.
Oh
To be the conference opener.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm just glad that we don't have to play Bama, but this is a year away. We still have to get past next year, so there's a lot of what ifs. Auburn's getting a new coaching staff.
Hey, James.
Obviously, Mississippi State had to, they're going to go down because of the loss of the Pirate. Texas A&M. I have Texas A&M with the hiring of Petrino is kind of worrisome because he can run a really good offense, and if they're clicking, they might be hard to beat. But we never know how that game goes. Texas on paper next year will probably be a tough team to beat. Tennessee, can they repeat what they did last year? This year, if they are, then we might be having some conversations. Ole Miss, is Lane Kiffin still going to be there? Is he going to be fired? He always seems to he gave up halfway through the season. And
I don't know if Ole Miss. I don't know if he'll be fired from Ole Miss, but I think there's a chance he could leave.
I just feel like he totally did not want to be there the second half of the year. So if he kind of loses that, he's either going to walk because he doesn't want to be there, or he will get fired because he just doesn't lack the enthusiasm. And then LSU, same thing with kind of the same thing with Tennessee. I mean, LSU had a really good season to start last year under Brian Kelly. Let's see if they replicate that. And like I said, we'll have to see what happens this next year. Also, to what Aiden said, despite whether or not Pittman gets whatever, even if he is there, you have a new quarterback, new running game, and those are your key guys right there. You have a second or third year starter in quarterback and a second or third year starter in running back, and they've been your key guys. So a lot of questions to be asked before the next season, but it's definitely a lot more favorable now that Alabama is not on that schedule.
You know what's I think is the most fun thing I've noticed from I've kind of been looking over these schedules since they've come out as a whole, and what I really like is that it feels like just about every schedule is fairly balanced.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. James.
There's no schedule you look at and you're like, Damn.
No one has it clearly easier over another. This is pretty balanced.
Unless
Just
you're Vanderbilt.
yeah. Fuck, they're just there for moral support.
I mean, even
Like-
then, like I feel like they went nicer on Vanderbilt. Like
I mean,
Kentucky's good,
they can
but
be-
they're like 8-4, 9-3 good every year.
yeah, but like I said,
Nobody likes Eli Drinkwitz.
it's-
Auburn's going to be in second year of Hugh Freeze.
they could
LSU's probably going to be good, but at that point,
Great.
Jaden Daniels is going to be gone.
Freeze. LSU's got Brian Kelly.
Texas is probably going to be breaking in a new quarterback. South Carolina's going to be breaking in a new quarterback. Bama is Bama, and Tennessee may or may not have Joe Milton. So
But James, that new quarterback is who? Exactly.
the second best quarterback in his class.
And you better be talking about the one at Georgia. Exactly.
No, we'll get into this later.
What are you freaking?
Y'all can talk
You
about.
get my point. Like half the teams on Vanderbilt's schedule that year are breaking in a new quarterback that year. So I feel like even with Vanderbilt's schedule, even though Vandy is Vandy, like their schedule's pretty good to them. I like
This is easily the best conference in football, just looking at this. Hands down. And James, on behalf of Texas and Oklahoma, Chris, you're welcome
For what?
for everything we're bringing to the SEC.
are bringing over $2 billion in brand value to
Dude,
the
Unlike the last two teams that came in.
And James, before that, though, before we go to the SEC, I do have to say, in response to Chris's dad over here, he said he called the Big 12 the Easy 12. And right now, because we're not
My
there
dad
yet,
said that. I didn't say that.
his dad said that because we were looking at the way too early top four rankings, which was Michigan, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia. And he was like, well, Texas and Oklahoma are in the Easy 12. And I was like, okay, slow down. We're not to
I'm not talking
2024
about him.
yet. The Big 12 with us in there is a totally different conference. And it's still very, very, very fun and competitive. But
the Big 12 gets shit on, but it's probably the third best conference in college football consistently.
consistently, yes. And
That's going to change when Oklahoma and Texas leave.
which is what I was getting to.
Definitely
But even then, they fall to 4, maybe.
Maybe.
Like,
Because
so we
when
know
we
the
get
SEC is
there-
number 1. Big 10 is consistently number 2, pretty much. Then there's the Big 12. Well, I'll say this: there's the SEC, then there's the Big 10, then there's a gap, then there's the Big 12, then there's another gap, and
We're
you've
talking
got.
about whenever Texas and Oklahoma leave, or
But now,
no? Okay.
as of right now, there's SEC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac-12,
The
ACC.
thing about
Hey,
the
James,
Big
can
12,
we take this thing down?
The thing about the Big 12 though is
You
that
can.
the Big 12 is so it's so unpredictable. Like you have so many different teams, like TCU coming out of nowhere. Can Kansas repeat what they did last year? Iowa State's kind of up and down with what's their head coach's name? Matt Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell.
Kansas State, can they be as good as they were last year? Then you got the very high potential, in my opinion, on paper of Texas.
The one thing that the Big 12 needs to avoid is becoming the Pac-12 in the sense that they cannibalize each other. That's
Yeah.
the one thing we've kind of clowned on the Pac-12
that's what they always
the
do.
last decade or so, is they all just beat on each other, and that's why nobody ever freaking makes the playoff, because they're all 8-4, 9-3,
Yeah.
maybe 10-2 if you're lucky. Right
Yeah.
now, they've got a couple teams that are kind of separating themselves a little bit. Like
Speaking
Utah's going to be close to 10 wins again this year, probably. USC should be at 11 wins or so. Oregon's going to be good. USC is going to be good. I mean, UCLA is going to be good. Washington should be good again with Michael Penix coming back.
yeah,
Like that conference is going to be top heavy.
it
You
is-
but you need a team or two to separate themselves. Because if you get a bunch of other, 10-2, 9-3 teams this year, that changes the conversation for next year when we go to 12 teams in the playoff. But if you have a bunch of 10-2 teams this year, you're gonna freaking miss out on the playoffs again.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Pretty much.
And that's what we've been kind of clowning on the Pac-12
We do.
for in recent years.
Oh, cool.
The Big 12 needs to avoid that.
I agree.
Because luckily enough, in the past, decade or so, the Big 12 has always had Oklahoma to, win it. But and then even last year, right? You had TCU going undefeated in the regular season, only having one loss. So you've had at least one team that's worthy or deserves the playoff, whereas you could argue Pac-12 hasn't. But if that changes and the Big 12 becomes that conference where the teams just start beating on each other, well, now you're going off to the island of irrelevancy with the ACC and everybody else.
Yep.
Speaking of teams moving conferences, when does USC and UCLA move?
Next year.
Same time, or is it? Or
Yep.
is it already?
Yep, they've already released.
Not that I care. We don't care about the Big Ten or the Pac-12.
I mean, fair, but they've already released the schedules for the Big Ten. They released those last week. Let's see if I can find it really quickly.
Oh, you know why it gets easier? Because doesn't Memphis go the? Oh no, they're already in the Big 12, aren't they? Teams that haven't already moved.
No Cincinnati.
Or Houston.
or Central Florida. Let's see. SMU football schedule 2023. La Tech win at Oklahoma win. Versus Prairie View A&M win. At TCU win.
Yeah.
They're going undefeated.
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at.
One.
So I'm looking. There's a counter on the SMU football schedule. They actually have a on the SMU football website, like an actual counter that has days, hours, minutes, seconds till football season. Week 1 against Louisiana Tech, win for SMU. Week 2 at Oklahoma, win for SMU.
You're on crack.
You're on gummies.
Yeah. No.
Hey, all joking aside, that will be a fun game because SMU got a lot of help in the transfer portal this year. A lot.
Hey, so let's take a look at this real quick. So we've
Sure.
got.
I'm only just curious about two teams.
Let's take a look at this real quick. So this is the Big Ten football opponents for next year.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that is not on here that I wish was on here, UCLA got the treatment that I wish USC would have gotten the treatment. Tell me what I'm talking about. There's a game on UCLA schedule that I wish USC would have gotten. Tell me what it is.
No.
Ohio
Hold
State.
on. Ohio State.
Nope. Mm-mm.
What, Nebraska?
Nope. Mm-mm. I've talked about it previously.
What? Rutgers?
A game that UCLA has that I wish USC would have gotten.
Rutgers?
That's what I said. Rutgers.
At Rutgers, there is something about the image of Lincoln Riley on the sideline
Freezing his ass off.
at 11 a.m. in December at Rutgers.
No, it's only better if he
That
doesn't
makes
know
me
how Ohio State or
Die laughing inside. Now, to be fair, USC did get at Northwestern, which is probably just as bad.
Yeah, but I mean,
But you get the point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's just going to be so weird and so funny at the same time.
to see a Pac-12 team over in the Big Ten.
Two Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, two Pac-12 teams in Big Ten country whenever it's not non-conference season.
What's that?
It'll be fun.
I said two Pac-12 teams in Big Ten country when it's conference season.
Makes no sense.
No.
No, it doesn't. It's gonna be so weird.
It'll be the new normal.
But like,
Well, and it's really weird because at least Oklahoma and Texas kind of sort of
Regionally.
makes sense in the SEC.
Regionally, yeah.
But you mean to tell, and it's funny you mentioned that because you mean to tell me that all these fans from USC and UCLA are going to travel to these away games?
Let me
No.
let you in on a little secret. Their fans don't care when they're at home.
That's also true.
Because they're in Los Angeles. I mean, their fan base doesn't care about the NFL teams there.
Well, you see
just care about the
with
Lakers.
Oklahoma and Texas, and then the rest of the SEC teams, they'll travel vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers.
USC and UCLA fans don't care.
And
they hardly show up for the home teams. You think they're
and
going to
that-
travel for when? You think they're going to travel when they go to away games?
Exactly. No. And that's what started all this nonsense. It makes sense for our teams to go to the SEC, but ever since UCLA and USC did this bullshit of going to the Big Ten, that's what started this whole shockwave of like conference realignments that don't even make sense.
Hey, when's
what is-
SMU joining the Big 12?
Huh?
When's SMU joining the Big 12?
They're going to join the Pac-12, probably.
What started it was like 10 or 15, what was it, 10 years ago, 12 years ago when was it Colorado, Nebraska moved, and then Texas A&M and Missouri moved, and then West Virginia decided to join the Big 12, and then
Hey, don't disrespect West Virginia. I stayed there in where was it?
Doesn't even know.
No. What's the capital of West Virginia? Charleston?
Is it Montpelier?
Yes.
Oh, it's not
Charleston.
Yeah.
I stayed in Charleston, West Virginia, and that John Denver was not kidding.
Yeah, it's a really good, nice state.
But-
Like still,
But they do burn couches.
Big 12. West Virginia.
And
I mean, the Bills Mafia jumps through tables, so I mean, whatever. But hey,
West
but-
Virginia.
no, that's what I want SMU to join the Big 12 eventually. I hope they do. That's what makes sense. But if it takes them going over there to join a bigger conference, there to join a bigger conference, then whatever.
Join the Big 10.
what I want to do is I want to wrap up this portion of our conversation with
Join the back.
without
You're not surviving.
knowing the exact order of the games and what we know based on our teams now. What's your record prediction? I want each of us to predict our record.
Damn it.
Well, let's just do the SEC
We're doing it for next year. I don't even know what's going to happen.
here, James.
Just based on what we know now.
I can't.
This is our way too early record predictions. I don't want to waste time with every team. Just do our teams.
Yeah.
Who's going first?
I'll go.
Okay. So
Realistically,
hold on. Starting with non-conference. What are you doing?
I don't want to do non-conference. Let's just do the SEC.
Well, tell me. Are you thinking 4-0,
I don't know.
3-1, or worse?
I don't know. I can't say because
Well,
I don't.
it's literally going to be 3-1, 4-0.
I
where are you
think,
leaning?
I think 4-1. I think 4-0.
Okay. I think I can't argue with it too much because at that point Michigan's losing. JJ McCarthy probably. Chase or what's his name? What's the running back's name?
Oh, he got injured, right? I'm blanking on his name. Wow.
Yeah, but he's coming back this year. And then they'll still have Donovan Edwards, but running back's coming back. Half their team is coming back. So, but they'll all be gone for 2024. So
Okay.
yeah. So I think
I don't think 4-0 is too far fetched.
I don't either, and I think because Texas this year is still very, very young, and they're going to get a lot.
Georgia's rebuilding this year.
So-
They should be back. Too.
So, but then going
say with your
into
chest. Say 4-0.
4-0, and then so then I'll go linear. So Florida at home, I'm confident about that right now. In Fayetteville,
I can't argue with it. Like
And- then going to Fayetteville with who the hell knows what's going on with Arkansas in 2024. KJ Jefferson's not going to be there.
so, Texas is going to be 6-0 coming into Red River.
Yeah, and then after Red River, they'll be 7-0.
I mean, there's
Okay.
no team. There's no team.
Hey, I think okay.
There's no team.
That's fine.
Side note.
fine.
Well, shut up.
A&M might give you issues.
Can you shut the fuck up?
No.
Okay. I think we can kind of assume how 2023 Red River is going to go, all joking aside. But in 2024, I think that's when it's going to be an absolute slugfest. So I
I don't
don't
know how it's going to go this year. I'm expecting this to be better with a healthy quarterback, but we know what can happen.
exactly. I think this year it's still going to go Texas's way, but it'll be at least a better game.
Fine.
In 2024, I think that is a coin. That's when it's a real coin flip. Game day will be there on that day. I can promise you that.
Okay.
So
Texas is 7-0 to this point,
then they
going into the meat of the
There's
SEC
no
schedule.
so
way
they
that
lose to
verifies
Georgia.
you.
Okay, so we're
I'm
7-1.
I'm saying 7-1 because that's at Athens.
Nope, that's in Austin.
Oh, that's in Austin? Oh,
Yeah,
man. I don't know. I
It's
want
still
to,
Georgia.
huh?
It's still Georgia.
It's still Georgia.
But half of their team is on the.
They haven't
shit
lost
list
in 2
Philly.
years.
This is
Okay,
this
fine.
is a rebuilding year.
Fine.
2024 should be like the
That's
year
true.
that
That's
you're
true.
back.
That's true. Okay, that's a loss. 7-1.
Okay.
Kentucky next. The women.
Like I said, it depends on how they have a really good offensive coordinator. A&M has a really good offensive coordinator. You add a really.
I cannot. I cannot say we are going to lose to them right now. Right now, they are in shambles, and
You have to see how they are next year.
we are going in. We have tried to play them for how long? We are going in there swinging, and then, dude, I can't believe I'm saying this. We're going to have one loss. What the fuck?
Potentially.
This is not realistic,
potentially.
James. But the more we go through
you could
this,
be a playoff team anyways. Because is it 12 teams or 8 teams?
it's 12. 12?
12 games, but 8 SEC games.
No.
12 playoff teams.
Playoff teams.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to be a playoff team
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
So you're going to be 11-1, likely going into an SEC championship game.
I think at best 11-1.
Are they
At
doing,
worst,
are they doing that by-
9-3.
are they doing that by standings?
Do you think? I mean, you can see clearly a pathway to 11-1.
I see it. Realistically, I know it's not going to go that way.
I don't think it will either.
It depends on how the schedule is shaped up.
And it depends on
Yeah.
injuries. It depends on continuity.
Yeah,
it
that's
depends
what
on
I'm
those
saying. That's
other
why-
teams.
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
that is
Based on
over
looking at the
your
teams
way.
now,
And you forget Michigan. How good
you're
they-
confident going 11-1. That's fine.
They are going to be rebuilding that year.
For me, honestly, and I'll let you guys give your opinion on mine as well. I think 4-0 is very valid as far as non-conference goes. That's fine. I think as it stands now, based on what we know at Florida. Now, if Florida for some reason gets good again this year, a lot can change. But I'll give you Florida. I'll give you Arkansas because we know KJ won't be back that year. And if Georgia's a loss, so I mean you're still 6-1 outside of OU. I'll even give you Red River. Fine, 7-1, maybe 6-2 with 4 left. Realistically, you'll beat you. I mean, we know you'll beat Vandy. You're 7-2.
A&M will probably be
I
the-
think of A&M. I think of A&M, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Y'all will drop one of those.
I think so too.
Which one? I don't know. I think you'll drop one of them.
I think Mississippi could be a trap game.
You'll drop one of them. I don't know which one.
It depends on how the schedule is.
So you think 10-2, 10-2, 9-3.
10-2, 9-3, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Minus the trap games, the games that I think you could outright lose without having it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's assuming you go 4-0 in non-conference. If you go into the big house and lose, now you're potentially looking at an 8-4 season. Potentially.
yeah.
Which, I mean, as a first season in the SEC, that's not bad.
No, I'll take 8-4.
Well, to me, like I was saying, like besides the trap games or whatever, the random loss that he shouldn't be on there, if we're counting the non-conference schedule for Texas, there's 4 games on there that I can just see being a potential loss. You have the Red River because of the history.
That goes either way every year.
Yeah, exactly. The just the unpredictability of that game. Georgia should be. This is a rebuilding year for them this year, so that year they should be, in theory.
I mean, you're likely getting your second year of Carson back.
Yeah. So they should be a lot better. A&M. The question I have with A&M is how their offense is going to do, and like I said, I've seen what Petrino can do to an offense, and if that offense is up and running like it was with us, they are going to be tough to stop because they already have a tough defense as it is.
My question with them is just
their
their
defense just
consistency.
took a dump because of everybody that left.
Yeah, but like
My question with them is their
defense is as bad as
consistency.
it.
What's up?
My question with A&M is their consistency because like their defense can be really good.
Yeah.
In 24, you'll have Connor Wigman's true junior year. Sorry, so he'll have experience. It's just about how are you playing consistently, because having Texas come into Kyle Field with what will be rivalry week,
and that'll be the last game of the season for sure.
Emotions are going to be incredibly high.
Oh yes,
and it's just we know both teams are going to want to come out swinging. It's just about who's actually going to do it. Where is it going to be Texas on the road coming in, or is it going to be A&M holding serve at home? It could go either way.
Yeah, it could.
Michigan's also a game that's
but we talked about that though.
A tier tartar.
Yeah. What about you?
For us, so for me, we're going through it because I don't know what the last two of our non-conference games will be. I'm going to call it 3-1 non-conference.
Fair.
3-1. We'll beat Temple. They're a bad G5 team. Tulane's a good G5 team, but we should beat them. We don't know what our other two will be. I'll call it 3-1. As much as I don't want to see it, we'll lose to Georgia and Norman. I mean, not Georgia, Bama and Norman. Shit. We'll lose to Bama and Norman. I think we'll beat South Carolina and Norman.
I agree.
So at this point, we are 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. Tennessee, this one's really, really difficult for me because they were really good this year. And I think they're going to be good again this year, 2023. But I don't know. They're not going to be up to the standard they were this year. Because they were 10-2 last year?
Yeah, that's the question I have on my schedule.
I think they're still going to be 8-4, 9-3 this year. I just don't know how that's going to translate to 2024. Because realistically, is Joe Milton going to be back for 2024? No idea. I'm gonna give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, and I'll say we beat Tennessee, and I'll count a loss to Texas.
Okay.
So at that point, we are 1, 2, 3, 5-3.
Okay.
With 4 games left. We'll go into Jordan Hare and beat Auburn. I don't care about Hugh Freeze. Go away. So we're 6-3. We get to roll into Baton Rouge for a night game. As much as it pains me, we'll lose that game. Sorry. We're 6-4. We'll go to Ole Miss. We'll beat them because they'll have Quinshon Judkins and nobody else. And then we'll go to Columbia and beat the brakes off Mizzou. So I'm saying 8-4.
I think that's fair, James. I think that's fair. I think both of our teams are going to be pretty even Steven in our first year in the SEC.
Because honestly, fuck Eli Drinkwitz. Screw that guy. He's a tool.
Now let's go through Arkansas' schedule.
Oh boy, no idea.
But what would you change of my prediction, if any? Before we jump to Arkansas,
I would potentially change Tennessee and Auburn.
Naturally, yeah, that's fine.
Naturally, though, I mean,
I really think 6-6 is our floor, but I could easily see 10-2.
Sure,
and
that's a good range.
And because the thing is, LSU won't have Jaden Daniels in 2024. We don't know who the quarterback at Mizzou will be, or Ole Miss, or Auburn. Tennessee could have Joe Milton. We don't know. South Carolina's going to be breaking a new quarterback because this is the last year of Spencer Rattler. Bama's going to be in their second year of their new offensive system, and it's Saban. So it is what it is, but we'll see how that goes. Let's take a look at Arkansas. So
And this is not including non-conference.
who's your non-conference? Actually, I'll read through it.
I think one of them will be Oklahoma State. Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, let's see. Arkansas non-conference for 2024. You have Arkansas Pine Bluff.
That's a win.
Mm-hmm.
You have at Oklahoma State.
That's hard. That's
Like I don't. It's with the team. Like I don't know.
James.
Arkansas
I'm
team
saying. I'm going to say loss on that because Arkansas will have a new quarterback going into Boone Pickens.
Yeah, but Oklahoma State's a dumpster fire right now.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I'll give Arkansas the benefit of the doubt. We'll
we
call
have
that a win.
no idea what.
I'm going to say Arkansas close.
Okay, so 2-0.
UAB.
I mean,
Win.
3-0.
And then you have Louisiana Tech in week 12.
That should be 4-0.
So you win those 4 games. Cool.
But
Awesome.
I mean, I don't know what I'm getting week to week with Arkansas, let alone year to year. I do see what's going on next year.
Fair. So you get LSU at home.
L.
Yeah, I'm gonna give us an L on that.
Okay, so you're 4-1. You get Ole Miss in Fayetteville.
I take a double on that.
Win.
All right, 5-1. Tennessee in Fayetteville.
To what you were saying, but rebuilding, we're going to be rebuilding as well. I feel like it should be a close game, but Tennessee will probably win that.
Okay, so we are at, what is that, 5-2?
Yes.
Texas,
I'm going to give us an L on that.
5-3. Mizzou at Mizzou.
We should be able to beat the brakes off of them, but for some reason, every time we played them, was it on the road?
Yeah, it's in Columbia.
Yeah, we somehow managed to lose that game. So I'm going to give us the win just because it's Missouri, but I don't know what I'm going to get with Arkansas.
All right, so we are at 6-3
All eligible.
going into Jordan Hare.
Auburn.
I'll say this.
Hugh Freeze is a former
On the peg of another backwards spike of the ball, I'm going to say Arkansas loses that one.
Lord Jesus, please don't let that happen.
Dude, that I've never seen a more.
The SEC hates us. Anyways,
Oh, that was so
Texas
bad.
A&M. That's a like
Dub.
I'll take a dub. Fine. And then Mississippi State. I mean, the team that was just hit by the hardest coaching change ever. I'm going to go ahead and give us a dub against Mississippi State.
So you're looking at 8-4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to argue that. I can't
I
can't really poke too many holes
you could flip whatever game
in your logic there.
Still wind up 8-4, 6-6, 7-5, somewhere around there.
Agree.
But like I said, I don't know what I'm getting year to year with Arkansas,
So
and I don't
Texas,
know what I'm getting with Arkansas. It's one basketball season.
I know.
so we're looking at
How this guy
So-
feels about
so
basketball.
for Texas, we're looking at
either 11-1 or 8-4. Somewhere in
Who?
with James, we're looking at.
you were looking at. I'm looking at realistically 8-4, but somewhere between 6-6 and 10-2. And Arkansas is looking at 6-6, 8-4.
Yeah, that's not bad.
How accurate were we with the Stars versus Golden Knights?
We weren't.
Oh, we're horrible at predictions.
I'll say this though, James. I feel really good about Texas' football team. We'll see what happens to OU. But how this guy feels about basketball is how we should be feeling about football. This guy does. I don't know what the fuck's going on with his football team. I don't think they know what's going on with their football team.
You know how we should feel?
Huh.
I would like to feel like OU softball always.
You know what? If I can give OU a compliment, it is to their softball team. James. I will shake your hand.
61-1.
I will shake your hand on that one.
I'm waiting for Baylor to hang the banner.
Come on, James. Don't leave me hanging. I can respect that.
When is Baylor hanging the banner?
That's a great question. Hey,
Chris, you know what I'm talking about?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Baylor hanging the banner.
No.
They were our one loss this year in softball.
Wow.
so
It was like the 10th game of the season. It was in the first week or two.
before we close, because is that what we're doing now?
Well, what we
Yes.
I
Now
have
that we've got our SEC fix, not the monkey off our back, we'll wrap up with rapid fire,
So-
scatter shooting, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead.
I did not intend to bring this up again, but I have to. I'd be remiss if I didn't. Why I torture myself with listening to the sports radio in Dallas, I don't know. I get into the car in a happy mood. And then once I get to my destination, I want to run through a wall when I hear Cowboys news. Why? And specifically the topic here is Dak Prescott. Okay. People are predicting that this year Dak Prescott will have the best year of his career
Super Bowl
ever. Yeah, basically that this will be the best year of his career, especially because it's a contract year. And the critics, which is where I am right now, are saying, really, when was his best year? His rookie year. I'll answer that. His rookie year. And then you have people saying that this is probably going to be his best year ever. And my basis for that is, okay, what makes you say that?
Contract
How is this
year.
going to be his best year when he's done fuck all since his rookie year?
Is it his contract year?
And yes, it is. This is his contract
Okay,
year.
so contract year.
And on that, what led me to this was still, again, you hear Grandpa say that they have every intention of signing him to an even bigger contract. Why? What for?
Incentive.
Why are you going to sign this man that can't get it done? And I hope he can, but he can't get it done to an even bigger deal. The teams that have success in the
You
NFL
should throw a name
have,
at
hold
that.
on. The teams that have success in the NFL have a pretty decent quarterback and spend that money elsewhere around the team to be successful, to go to the promised land. And
I would rephrase that
you get what I'm saying.
because pretty decent quarterback
Trent
doesn't
Dilfer.
get you very far.
It doesn't, but
An elite quarterback on a rookie deal does. There you go.
Correct.
Fixed it for you. You're welcome.
correct. An elite
I.e.
quarterback
Unless you're freaking
Trent Dilfer.
Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, we're looking at teams like Buffalo or Cincinnati.
well, you can. I mean, I would say Burrow's on his way to elite.
Even-
I can't put Burrow
even-
at elite
Even
yet.
Philly,
What do you want to?
Jalen Hurts is on his rookie deal.
Agree. And look, agree. But that's the point, right? The teams that have good to elite quarterbacks on lesser deals where they can put that money and allocate that money elsewhere, 9 times out of 10 go to places like the Super Bowl and or win the Super Bowl. So why that just it irks me that still have we learned nothing? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. How does signing this man to an even bigger deal fix our problems?
You know, right now you kind of sound like old man yells at cloud because it feels like you.
What fucking saying
Because
is that? I have
you-
never heard
you-
that in my life.
You've been
Because it's basically saying that you're getting mad at nothing.
Well, dude, it's not. It probably
Or
is.
you're getting mad at something you can't control because
That's what I keep
right
saying.
now you are missing the point completely. That it's not about Dak. It's not about football. It's about Grandpa Jerry Jones because all he cares about right now is businessman stuff.
Mhm.
The thing about Jerry Jones is he claims to be a football man but he's a
He's not.
businessman.
A really good
He
business.
cares about selling merchandise and putting butts in seats.
Yeah, that's the reason why
He is going to keep the Cowboys just competitive enough to keep people interested.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
But until he leaves, we are not going to be a serious football team.
Nope.
And the reality of it is Dak is top 10 in jersey sales every year.
Yeah, to
As
that
long as he stays there, nothing's going to change.
Probably not.
Now, do I think Dak Prescott is as end days as you do? Absolutely not. But there is deeper, upsetting ties to the core of this team that go way above Dak Prescott's head.
Yep.
Agree, and it all goes.
I
to
refuse
Grandpa.
to put the entire blame on him.
I'm not, of course. That is a very.
Do
big
I think?
issue. No.
Well, do I think he's worth money? Yes. Am I annoyed at the structure of how quarterback free agency goes, and really free agency as a whole these days in the NFL, where if you are the newest player on the market, you get the highest contract? I think that's stupid. But that's the reality of how the NFL goes. If you are near the top of your position group, it doesn't matter when you go on the market. If you are the latest person on the market, you get the biggest deal. That's the most annoying thing.
Right.
And so am I annoyed Dak Prescott got as much money as he did? Yes. Can I blame the Cowboys for paying him that? No. Am I going to get upset about it? Also no. Because I don't think he's the biggest problem.
You can't do anything about it. He is a problem, but that contract still, though, I mean, it blows my mind that they could think that he's worth that money. But
it's not about thinking that he's worth that much. That's just how it works these days in the NFL.
unfortunately, yes.
And
But
the reality
we're
of it is either we were going to pay him that money or somebody else was.
Then let it be somebody else's problem.
See, that's where I disagree, because here's the thing. Even though we're upset about how much he's paying him and how frustrating he can be sometimes, he wins games. And he's either going to win games for us or he's going to win games elsewhere. And if I'm the Cowboys, and I agree with the Cowboys in this, I would rather him win us games than elsewhere.
Winning games is fine, but big games.
And that's where coaching and scheme comes into play. That really angers me, because here's the thing. You see scheme with Kansas City, they win. You see scheme in Philadelphia, they win. When it matters in Dallas, we get Zeke at center.
Wait, what? I didn't hear what you said.
I said when it matters, you have scheme in Kansas City, right?
Yes.
When it matters, you have scheme in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Matters.
When it matters in Dallas, you get Zeke at center.
Yeah.
You cannot possibly put that blame on Dak Prescott. Dakota Rain Prescott does not decide to put Zeke at center when it's the last play of the game.
No,
but he did throw it to him, and he missed one,
I'm
two,
not-
three
I'm
open
not
guys.
talking about that guy, that game, that play. But I am talking about he's made some critical errors in that San Francisco game, and we talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he definitely deserves a chance to prove it, and I hope he does. But you can't pay the guy until he's shown you that he can lead you past the first or second round of the playoffs.
And agree with that.
Maybe it's a reaching too high, but we're at the point where we're not we're not the Jets, or we're not even the Jags, who are happy to just be in the playoffs, or the Texans.
Agree. So he does share the blame, but I can agree with James that it is also Jerry Jones's fault. Why Jerry Jones can't go deal with this girl that may or may not be his daughter and leave the team alone, I don't know.
Well, here's the
But
thing.
it has to be his way or no way, and that's another reason why we are the way we are right now. And
Well,
it's so frustrating.
Here's the thing about the Cowboys. When's the last time, any normal franchise, any franchise that's ever gone on to win a Super Bowl, they've gone through years of kind of just floating, or maybe 1 or 2 years of floating, trying to figure out what they're going to do. Then they may sell everybody, suck for a year or two, rebuild everything, and all of a sudden they're going and they're winning championships and they're playing for championships. When's the last time that the Cowboys weren't either weren't like 8-8 or 10-6 or somewhere around 500.
Like the 90s?
Because
No.
I don't know when, but my point is that good franchises are okay with losing from time to time. It sucks, but you're okay doing it if it means going and getting better over time. To what JC said, he's a businessman. He doesn't he wants to sell tickets. He wants people to buy merchandise. I mean, there are people buying merchandise all the time, even though I've stopped doing that for like the last 3 years. That there are people buying merchandise all the time at rally houses and going to Cowboys games. And why would he care if the Cowboys are going to winning a playoff game when they're the richest franchise in sports? That's richer than all of the soccer teams, all the hockey teams, all the basketball teams. I know that's richer than all of those teams.
I don't disagree.
So
I don't disagree. I do think though that there is a point where Zeke sold how many jerseys and they cut him.
I don't even know why that argument was.
But it's because I
don't know where I went with that argument. It's kind of
it awoke some also Cowboys anger and frustration. It did.
I think it was just tired. Anyways.
That too. But no, it's so frustrating. But I don't know. I don't see the point in signing this guy that can't get it done. But anyway. Last thing that I thought was interesting.
Enough about the Cowboys. Wrap it up.
Last thing I thought was interesting are the Oakland A's. By the way, how about Oakland for kind of having this fun spell? They're winning. They're beating the Rays.
They have the longest winning streak in baseball.
They had the longest winning streak in baseball.
What were they at 12-50 when it started?
Something like that. Then I saw their fans were actually. I found this.
They did what was it? A reverse boycott. What is a reverse boycott?
Did you see this? That their fans were throwing trash onto the field, yesterday. Like their fans were literally.
I mean, it's a horrible.
No, that franchise is hurting right now. But my question is, James, do you know what the worst record in baseball is?
The Oakland A's.
Nope.
It's not the Oakland A's.
Nope.
Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Nope.
Detroit?
Nope.
Surely you're shitting me.
It was the 62 Mets.
Wait, no, in history?
Oh, you're talking about history.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
You're
meant
this
The
year.
62 Mets had the worst record where they won, I think, I just pulled it up actually. They were 40 and 120 and I think 1 at the time. They had a tie actually, even in the 60s. Right now, Oakland is pushing at the pace they are right now to win 42 games, around 42 to 43 games, and Kansas City right now is pushing to win about 45 to 50 games. Do you think one of those two teams will surpass the Mets to have the worst season in baseball
I can definitely
history?
see Oakland doing it.
I can't see it.
I could see Oakland doing it.
Oakland doing it more than Kansas City.
I could see-
if there's
and-
one team that's going to do it.
And that's one thing. Kansas City has no reason to be this bad. I can understand winning. I can understand them winning 70-ish games.
Although they did go on a winning streak, so maybe they've turned a corner.
The fact that Casey look at their roster. The Royals do not have any reason being this bad, and they are just bad.
Who's on that? I mean, besides Greinke.
But still, no.
If there was one, which one's the most likely of the two?
I can see the Royals trading Aroldis Chapman to the Rangers.
What about
Thank you.
And Greinke.
Gross.
We need Greinke.
Do we?
He would help.
What's his ERA right now?
Because our boy and his this right here.
And you could put Dunning back in the 10.
It would make sense.
But Dunning is a starter.
But that's another thing that I might also add. I am not a huge Aroldis Chapman fan because that man has blown how many leads?
Yeah. He's better than what we've got.
I don't disagree.
We also talked about that last week.
Don't disagree. He is better than what we have. Would he be an improvement? Yes. Would it help? Yes.
To answer your question, I don't think either of those teams will be
But it has
bad
to be
enough
That's like
to not win more than 41
enough
games.
anything. You have to. It's got to be for the right price.
So-
to get the one or the other.
Will, on that note, Oakland or KC win more than 45 games?
Yes.
Because right now they're on pace to win about 40 something.
If there was one or the other to win less than those, which one would it be, Jason?
So I think I've told you guys before. When I was in college, I did this simulation, and I built a model, a statistical model that could predict how many wins a team would have by knowing the amount of singles, doubles, triples, home runs, walks, and what your team ERA was for a year. We could predict how many games you would have within a game or two. What we also learned from that model is unless something has seriously gone wrong, which clearly something has seriously gone wrong in Oakland. I don't know as much about Kansas City, but it seems
bad.
something's like going wrong.
Yeah, but not his
By inherently being a Major League Baseball team, you should win 60 games. Because realistically, when you think about it, how often do you see teams go significantly below 60 wins?
It's not a lot, but
Because even then, the lowest you may see is like 57, 55, which at that point, you're not significantly below 60. So for having two teams in 1 year be below 50,
Yeah.
that something has seriously gone wrong. And so that's why statistically, I feel like, is it possible for them to be down there? Yes. Do I think that they'll both be below 40? Hell no. Like mathematically, that would be such an outlier. It's bonkers to think about.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Sure. Do I think it's likely? No.
fair. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, alrighty then. That's a hell of a way to wrap up. Great job for being boring, guys.
Hey, that was not boring.
Okay. What do you have? What do you have?
I
Well,
have
it's
fuck
fine.
all. I'm going to bed.
And it.
Uh,
did you say
Hey,
it's an alcoholic?
the United States plays Mexico tomorrow.
Ooh, we should say do that instead of what?
Formula One's in Canada this weekend.
Are you going?
That's
to
actually fun.
Are you going to Canada?
I wish. I don't have a passport. I need
Oh.
one. I totally would. But what that means is Formula One's on at normal hours and not 6 a.m. this week.
Oh.
So that's fun. I'll enjoy that. But we're definitely getting into the dog days of summer, which
Yep. It's going to be a long summer. What are we talking about next week?
Baseball.
And
we'll just do
baseball.
one big.
we called it. Oh, but none of our teams are in it.
So something to talk about.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay. Baseball it is.
We'll just do one big circle jerk. It's fine.
No, no.
It is what it is. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Before we get too weird.
It's getting late.
See you later. Deuces.
Goodbye.
I am, but I don't know because that's so bad right now.